Hello and welcome to an energy update here on the Astroflower, or if you're joining us on the Cymatic TV. It wishes to be quite a noisy update, as you can well see the funfair that's going on behind me. We're going to be going into what's going on in the sun. There's been a great eruption, absolutely beautiful, it's a must see. But it's also going to be affecting other planets, not necessarily the Earth, but affecting other planets. How does that affect us? We can see that within the earthquakes, which we're also going to be seeing, and seeing how that's sort of playing out in the sort of chakras and how it could be affecting us as individuals, therefore the collective as well. So we'll be obviously getting a dowsing on the ley line, getting the energy of the Earth chakra sequencing and of the Earth messages. So in the meantime, let's just go back to the studio where you will find Tom talking about the solar flares. Don't believe, just know. Cymatic TV, turning vibration into reality. Yes, thank you, Tom. Welcome to the studio. We're going to be looking into the sun and seeing what's coming off in the way of the energy from the sun. Very particular this time round. There has been, as you can well see behind me just there, an M flare on Sunday, and it was a long duration M flare. And luckily for the Earth, it wasn't going in the direction of the Earth. But it does affect us. And this is the sort of conversation we should be having about energy. The sun is not just connected to the sun. It's obviously connected to all the other planets. And those planets have a vibration which affects us as individuals and us collectively. And what you can see here on the right-hand side, just above me here, is where it's going in the direction of Venus. Now, it hits Venus pretty much the same time this video is coming out. That's around about sort of 1800, 1900 hours GMT time. Now, this is taking out the heart, as it were, the emotional side of the energy, as far as I can see, that's coming through for the Earth. So it's reducing the amount of emotional energy. So then therefore we're much more reliant upon the Earth. And it's got a particular effect that we will go into shortly. But in the meantime, let's just have a quick look of what has been going on the whole disk of the sun over these past few days. As you can see here, this is where the sun is here, out this side. And you can see that eruption down in the bottom left-hand corner. So that's coming in our sort of direction. And as I've been saying for some time, I think it will burn itself out a little bit. So as it's facing the Earth, we probably won't get that much in the way of eruptions. We will have to see over the next 3 or 4 days as it starts to face Earth. But that's not just the only thing that's going on there. We can also see happening around the sun there is those black filaments that we can see dancing across the sun. Now that's filament energy, which is emotional energy. And this is the sun retaining it because none of the filaments actually erupted in the direction of the Earth. None of them really erupted full stop. Therefore, the sun, through its messaging, is retaining the emotional component of that, certainly in the direction of the Earth, but within the solar system itself. And this will affect how the energy affects us as individuals and through our chakras. But I really must show you some of the amazing eruption videos that we got here. Now this is in 2 different sort of frequencies that we can see, and this is focusing on that eruption, and you can see that cascading plasma energy as it brings back to the sun. Therefore, it's also holding back on its plasma. Yes, there was a certain amount of ejecta, which we will see a little bit later on, but it wasn't massive as it were. And it's probably just as well. And also, it's probably just as well that it wasn't facing in the direction of the Earth. So it was holding back, as I say, this emotional sort of energies. And we can also see this within the eruptions of the earthquakes of the Earth. Here we've got the earthquakes that is just above me here. You can see South America got 2 or 3, and then you're going up across North America. There was slightly stuff in the North America, And there was one little bit that was over in Afghanistan, I think, and the other one which was in Croatia or Italy, around that sort of area, Greece, around that sort of area in Europe. But the main eruptions were happening of north of Australia and south of Japan. Now, this is particular when we come down to the chakra system that I have created. I created sort of 20 odd years ago. As you can well see here, well, right on the far side, you can see Australia. That's where we have the solar plexus. Above that, over Mount Fuji, you've got the third eye and the throat chakra. Over Mount Kailash, you have the crown chakra. Heart chakra is over, going from west to east. This is heart chakra is over the UK, over St. Michael's Mount. Root chakra down in La Salida, down in Bolivia, down in South America. And then you have the sacrum, or the sacred chakra, which is up in North America over Mount Shasta. Yes, so the main activity has really been going between the solar plexus and the throat and third eye. Now, this is all about getting on and doing, as I was saying earlier on. That's what the energy seems to be about. It seems to be giving this, the sun seems to be taking out the emotions, because when you've got to get on and do, sometimes you just got to take out the emotions out of the situation. And once we start getting on and doing, there should be, as far as I'm concerned, two main ingredients that you should be appropriating within your life. And therefore, once you start acting them within your life, then therefore you can start acting them within the life of the collective, as it were, that is around you. And once we can change that, the two things that we should be adding is a little bit of joy. The more joy we spread within our own personal life, it will affect people around you. Do not try overtly to try and create joy in other people, because other people may take it the wrong way and you may be creating even worse than it actually is. Just create joy in your life. It will filter through, you know. The other ingredient is common sense. Now, people talk to me about manifestation and so forth, and I am doing a sort of like work course on that. I'm working on some series of videos for that. In this, it's being realistic, and this is where the common sense thing comes into play. If I am overtly positive, and I am pretty positive, you know what I mean, and I do realise that sometimes I am fooling myself, and I have understood the idea that the yin and yang exists. If I only push on the positive side of life and do not pay attention to the other side, the negative side is obliged to come to the same level, so it finds its harmony and equilibrium. So this is where common sense comes in, because then energy will also then bring in common sense within your life, and this becomes a lot easier to start manifesting things. And that's what seems to be the energy at the moment. It seems to be about getting on and doing and bringing a lot more joy and common sense into our lives. That's the messages from the sun. Let's go out to the outside again to meet Tom, where he's going to be dowsing the ley line, taking messages from the earth, getting a chakra sequencing. So the line that comes through, it comes through in this section here, goes off and goes into town and goes off to meet the church, where we've done many sort of energy updates, and it comes through here. This cloître is actually from a monastery that is some way away, Cistercian monastery. It wasn't there originally, but this used to be like a lake here and a spring, and now they've got sort of fountains that today are not running. But let's just get on and see what's going on with the ley line, the energy line. Okay, so there it is. It's starting to kick in. I'm in alignment pretty much with the cloître, so it's just kicking in there as we come across, and we're walking in perpendicular to the line, and that's what you should always find out first if you want to find its width, because if you're walking across the line at a diagonal length, it changes the width incredibly, obviously. So here we go, we're just coming through here, we've just come through that sort of lake, sort of spring as it were, and it's starting to kick out now, kick out in that point there. Absolutely, it's very vibrant, it's nice, and it seems to be having that consistency that we're talking about with the energies as it comes through. And there you can see it just kicks in there. As we come through the middle of the line, which is pretty much about now, there we go, and it starts kicking back towards me as if to sort of say, you're going off the line, Tom, where are you going? So the dowsing rods give us that sort of notion of direction. There we go, just pulled it out of the line, and that's where we're here. We're back here. So the line is looking very wide at the moment, but then that's because we're still in the summer period from the winter or the autumn equinox, or summer, the spring equinox, depending on which hemisphere you're in. But for this coming equinox, the energy line will drop by 3/4 and go back to what it was originally on its size here in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, you will be doubling up the size of your lines. So it has got this consistency that's coming in from the sun, and we saw that as well with that vibrant sort of energy. It's taking the emotions out of the situation, and as we saw with the chakras and the earthquakes, it's really about sort of solar plexus, third eye and throat chakra, getting on and doing basically. So let's just connect to that energy. Okay, there we go, straight away. First connection. Let's go in for the sequencing. Okay, so it goes straight to the crown chakra, and less so to the root chakra, it's got to be said. That's a lot on the throat and the third eye, but also the solar plexus is backing it up there. It's now coming more into the solar plexus, that's building that up. And it almost feels like the throat chakra's been forced or pushed a little bit by the heart chakra, but not breaking into it. There's a throat chakra again, and then it comes back to the solar plexus. These two are really ding-donging off one another. There is a slight degree of the sacrum, very light, therefore taking the ego out of the situation. Our personal ego, the fundamental desires, and much more getting on to the doing. And the heart chakra does come through. It comes through as a sort of like cheeky chappy, which is very much in line with me. So yeah, it's lovely energy. And then we get the crown, and only a slight bit on the root, but the root is really nice. It's soft, it's gentle, it's not hard, but it is asking about getting on and doing, which is, I think, really important. And the crown chakra seems to be very open to combining various different types of energies or energy centers within us in order to get on and do. That seems to be the thing. Let's just connect to that. So, okay, so now we're on back to the main connection. And the solar plexus and the third eye and the throat chakra. The solar plexus is all about sort of confidence, courage, determination, that sort of thing, that fire in your belly to do it. But we have the throat chakra and the third eye, so that's paying attention a lot more to the here and now. The throat chakra is also helping to say things, therefore I'm manifesting. If you say it, there's a greater chance that it will happen. And this is where we say things in order to manifest the consistency or that fire or that determination of the solar plexus, as it were, and just getting things done. That seems to be the thing. So let's just go and see. We're going to go back to, let's use this line now to go back to the center, Sanganans, the crossing point. We've got the crossing point. I can see the vortex. It's a smaller vortex than the one that is behind me that way, but it is an entrance all the same. Size does not matter. We go down into the earth, and we're greeted by a very buoyant energy. It's very, there's a lot of white, a lot of yellow, but it's I wouldn't say, it's concentrated. It's almost like it's really well toned, as it were, as energy goes. So that seems really beautiful. go, just moving around and connecting to the central plasma ball now. That is so good. That's giving everything in my energy system like a blow through, just blowing out the cobwebs. It's really quite nice. There's a message that's coming round for the earth. What we do in a future should be not determined, but should take in consideration our past. I get a lot of past things going on here, and it's almost like honouring our past. And I don't think it's honouring our past as in last week. I think this is honouring our past as in it's taken many generations to get where we are today, and many generations have contributed their own personal nuance to what has now created society and us as individuals. And the message seems to be here is like honouring that, but it's going back, we're sort of talking 500 years or more, going back way before the mechanization of human society. And it's recognizing, I think it's sort of saying to us, you know, it's like it's sort of saying, children, how far have you gone from your original interaction with the earth? How far are we displaced from the natural process of nature? How far are we disconnected to that on a daily basis? Maybe it's time to get back to that, at least having a part of us during the day where we can honour the planet that we're living in, or honour the system that we're living in, which is nature itself. Everything has its say in the world, as much as trees, animals, fish, humans, everything, even the rocks. Everything has its point to say and is a contribution to the evolutionary process of not only us, but everything else that is upon this planet. And it's almost as if the earth is sort of saying to us as humans, now is time to get back into synchronization with that vibration. And the reason being behind that is the other thing that's coming through is all about sort of pole shift. And this idea that the energy is going to be changing. It is changing already. There is not a lot of energy at the moment, but the energy, what energy there is very concentrated, very intense. And it's sort of saying the more you get in sync with the energies that are around you on a daily basis, the more you will notice the changes, and therefore we will be able to adapt to those changes. So it's really giving us a heads up, I think. And as I said in the other energy update about shot across our bowels, it's a bit of a wake-up call, I think, as well. It's sort of saying, the earth is sort of saying, are you ready? Are you in line? Are you doing daily things in order to get in line? And we all, me included, everybody will have work to do on this, no matter what, because it's a daily thing. Okay, so I think that's the main overriding message from the sun at the moment. Okay, so yeah, there we go. That's the message from the earth. Let me just sort of now get back to sort of, there we go. Don't want to leave my energy there. I'm just waiting for, there they go. The vortex coming back to where that crossing point is coming round. I just step into it and then I come up, come back down the line. And there we go, we're back in the body. There you go. That's the energy update at the moment. Great time to be alive. Absolutely brilliant time to be alive. Fantastic to meet you all. If you ever book up a private reading with my good self. Obviously you have the earth signs on Thursday, water signs on Friday, fire signs on Saturday, air signs on Sunday. Yes, and there will be more videos to do with energy as we go further on down this adventure, which we call the Astroflower. I will see you soon. Thanking you very much for all the support that you give to this channel in whichever way you see fit. It's absolutely beautiful. I will see you soon. In the meantime, don't forget, Life should be fun, so please do enjoy.